you doing there, folks? This is a video response to this video that I made about attempted bombing of Northwest Airlines plane. The reason for this video is because of comments trying to say that Al-Qaeda does not exist and that the Al-Qaeda terrorist organization does not exist, which is totally nuts. Trying to say that 911 was an inside job was totally stupid too. Now, my interpretation of 911 was an inside job was that Al-Qaeda terrorists had access to the World Trade Center buildings and that bombs were planted inside the World Trade Center, timed to go off after the airliners had already crashed in order to kill the emergency personnel coming to rescue the people and put the fires out in the buildings afterwards. Nutsos are trying to say, their interpretation is that they're trying to say the CIA did it. Now that's absolutely nuts. 911 was the day that the rich died. 3,000 richies perished on 911. High-paid individuals. These are people paying a lot of taxes, supporting the state, city, and federal government, and it was a big cause of the recession afterwards because you don't got these taxes being paid anymore by these people. These are people that spent a lot of money, going into restaurants, paying big, 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 big checks, man. Big tips. You don't got these people anymore after 9/11. 3,000 people, richies, perished on 9/11. Valuable real estate was brought down on 9/11. This resulted in the recession that affected New York City and decimated the lower Manhattan area, okay? Resulted in big deficits for the city of New York government, the state, and the federal government as stocks took a nosedive on 9/11. Now use your common sense, people. Bush is a Republican. Republicans are for big business and are for business. They would not do this. Come on, folks. What is there? Something wrong with your brains? Number one. Number two, just because the United States supported Al-Qaeda during the 80s to go against Iran, which was our enemy, that just took hostages, and we backed up Saddam Hussein, was fighting Iran at that time, and we supported the extremists to go against Russia, who was our big adversary at the time, to get them out to get Russia out of Afghanistan, does not mean that we still supported them then. Once they showed their true colors and they bombed the Cobalt Towers and all that, we were not their friends ever since, folks. And they were never were our friends. Let me give you an example. My ex-neighbor, Carlos, okay? Now, he was there all the time, and I had to leave, to go make money, go to work and all that. I couldn't stay there all the time. He was threatening to break into my room, steal my stuff, okay? So in order to get him to be able to try to get at least on his side, so he wouldn't do that, I started giving him money. I started saying, hey Carlos, it's 50 cents. Wanna go buy soda? Wanna go buy soda? Wanna go buy soda? All of a sudden, eventually that didn't work anymore because he wanted real big money. So then I stopped doing that. I ceased being his friend, which I kind of became temporarily, okay? Doesn't mean that if this guy Carlos went and broke in my room or did anything else in that building that I was behind it and that it's an inside job. Come on, folks. Once we was no longer talking to the guy, which means anything he did was solely on his side. The same thing with Al-Qaeda. Once we ceased having anything to do with them, once we ceased having anything to do with Saddam Hussein after he invaded Kuwait that was done on their own terms. Alright, I hope this answers questions. I don't want any more not-so comments being made on my video. Any more comments being made on my videos that I interpret as supporting Al-Qaeda or denying that these organizations exist will be deleted and may result in whoever's doing it being blocked. Cause I ain't go for this. Okay? I'm not gonna allow my videos to be used by terrorists trying to further the propaganda. Number one. Number two, another thing that I wanna emphasize is how could you say that the Al-Qaeda terrorist organization don't exist? Trying to say the 911 never happened, trying to say the London bombings never happened, trying to say Madrid never happened, Dubai number 1 and 2. What are you, sickos? Okay, another thing I want to further emphasize, my interpretation of 9/11 was an inside job, was that Muslim terrorists already had access to these World Trade Center buildings, either because they were working there, which a lot of these, which the hijackers had visas to come to the United States and planted bombs, which means that after the airliners crashed in, these bombs went off minutes later, and that's what brought the whole buildings down. Cause if you look at how these buildings collapsed, that was a controlled implosion. It wasn't done just solely because the airliners crashed in. No, folks. I saw with my own eyes when the second World Trade Center tower went down, and that was a controlled explosion, folks. It went down. It went down. Those two buildings imploded. That was no collapse, folks. All right. I hope this ends everything. As far as the stupid comments. Like I said, any more stupid comments are gonna be deleted, and you may end up being blocked because I spent a better part of the week. Look at the video. There must be about 60 comments of me arguing with this guy Lane, who just could not get into his thick head that Al-Qaeda exists. He goes, "Oh, Al-Qaeda don't exist. It don't exist." Come on. Then how did 911 happen? All right.